I should mention it is raining now where I live at, so yay! And good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, the DOUG, and Mr. Johnny B. Good. Say hello, Johnny.
Feels good to be fucking back on.
How was your vacation? Because I pretty much said that you had to go visit family in North Dakota.
My vacation was pretty much bad. Because of the fact that my internet got shut off.
I wasn't doing that because I didn't want to do that to you. That's why I said you went on a family vacation to North Dakota.
Well, it's not really that personal.
Well, I know, but we also have Fire Ninja and Giant Vibrator on the party, but Fire Ninja is not a big football guy, and I don't know if Giant Vibrator watches it, but you may hear them eventually. And of course, we're going to be doing not only all winners and losers for the best and worst of the season, but guess what? We're also going to talk about some of the firings and hirings that have happened. But before we get to that, recap of last week. The Bills lost to the Jets in a game that meant nothing. The Bengals beat the Browns, which ended up getting their head coach fired. Packers won my lock of the week, barely beating the Lions. Chiefs beat the Chargers, who ended up getting the second seed thanks to the Dolphins getting off the miracle of miracles. Bears did upset the Vikings in a game that really didn't matter. Patriots lost to the Dolphins, sending the Patriots to the wildcard game for the first time, and I think, oh God, since
it was like a decade.
A decade, which is kind of funny. Buccaneers unfortunately lose to the Falcons, going 7-9, but there was history made in that game. Saints beat the Panthers with ease. Raiders lost to the Broncos. Rams beat the Cardinals. Eagles won their division, beating the Giants. Colts lost to the Jaguars. Steelers lost to the Ravens. Titans beat the Texans, earning the Titans the sixth and final spot. While the Cowboys did go 8-8, they did end up losing the division. And the Niners won the number one seed by beating the Seahawks. So, in Week 17, I went 9-7, and for the season, I believe I did beat Johnny, as I went 160, 97, and 1.
Hold on, let me, I'm sorry to have my phone that I used to have all my picks on.
Alright.
Keep the show going.
No problem, just give me a minute. I'm tagging people and shit because I can.
Well, I almost got it.
But I do
keep the sod up.
No problem. I do want to say congratulations to all the teams who did make the playoffs. If your team didn't make the playoffs, try again next year. What is funny, though, we did get 5 new playoff teams this year. The Packers, the 49ers, who missed the last year's, the Buffalo Bills, the Titans, and I'm trying to remember, and the 49ers are the other team.
No, you already said the 49ers.
Okay, it was 49ers, Packers, Bills, Titans. I know I'm missing one other one now.
I think it's the
Packers. Packers didn't make it last year. Packers, Niners, Bills, Titans. Did Philly make it last year?
Yeah, wild card.
Wild card, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the fifth.
Only 4.
No, there was 5. I just can't remember the 5th one because I'm an idiot.
Let's see. Well, I have no fucking clue.
I can find out because I saw it on the NBC Facebook page. But lo and behold, I do want to say congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens and the 49ers respectively for getting the number 1 seed in their respective division. Congratulations to them on that.
Let's keep flexing.
And also congratulations to the... No, I already said Niners and Ravens. Both teams deserving of the number 1 seed. There's no doubt on that note.
Alright, I'm at my stat lines.
Yeah, your stat lines... Okay, here's what it is. The 5 teams who didn't make the playoffs last year that made it this year: Bills, Vikings, Titans, Niners, and Packers.
Oh yeah, the Vikings did miss the playoffs.
Yeah, they made it the year before. That's why I was getting the previous one. So that's why I was getting confused. But anyway, congratulations to those 2 new teams who did make it.
So wait, what was your record again?
9-7 this past week, but for the season, 160, 97, and 1.
Are you shitting me?
What?
I'm 158, 96-1, and I finished week 17, 13-3.
Yeah, you needed me to go 8. I think when I did the math, you needed me to go get 7 wins or less to catch me. But unfortunately, the Dolphins. What hurt you in the end was the Dolphins winning. If the Dolphins would have lost, you probably would have been able to catch me. But
no, that wouldn't matter because you picked the Patriots as well as I did.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't matter.
But I am happy that I not only beat you, but I also won the pick league I'm in as well. So I did pretty well for the season.
Well, I mean, it's not like I did much worse.
Oh, that is true.
I mean, I only got 2 games off of you. What really killed me, though, was week 6.
Yeah, that dreaded week 6 when you just died.
It was like 5-9.
Yeah, you got
like the worst.
You got obliterated in that one.
Yeah, let's see what idiocy came out of that week. The freaking Lions, if they would have won that game, not because of ref ball, there would have been one more win. If the Dolphins actually got the 2-point conversion, we would have tied. If the Chiefs can actually hold a lead, I would have won. I mean, it was a pretty good year for me too.
Congratulations on that. But your team's in the playoffs though, which we'll discuss the Ravens more a lot next week because they don't play this week. They got the week off. But getting to some news before we get to the picks and the best and worst. First off, Raiders cornerback Lawson has been suspended for the 2020 opener. The Giants fired their head coach a few days ago. The Cowboys officially let go of Jason Garrett last night. So,
are you celebrating?
I will celebrate once I see who's his replacement, because I would say this. I know a lot of people didn't like him, but we've seen coaches who leave and then you actually end up getting a coach who's worse, a la Cleveland. And then sometimes you do get a better head coach, and we'll see. This would be the first time Dallas actually has to look for a head coach since 2007. So, but I know a lot of people like why they just didn't fire him right after week 17. You know, I think Jerry was trying to wait, didn't want to fire somebody, during the holidays, which I kind of don't like firing people during the holidays either. That's kind of, I don't like that. But Redskins did get a new head coach in the former Panthers head coach, though, which I actually do approve of that. Ron Rivera getting it. I think that's going to help the young quarterback they have there, and it's going to help. And Adrian Peterson's going to get used more. Let's be honest. Adrian Peterson showed he's still a workhorse. I do find it funny, though, that the owner of the Redskins said Happy Thanksgiving when introducing the head coach. A lot of people thought that was him being stupid. But if you actually remember, Ron Rivera was fired by the Panthers after Thanksgiving. And who did they play? The Redskins. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I guess when it was near. Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving week. Okay, I was kind of there. I was going with it. But Cleveland's looking for a new head coach. Giants are looking for a new head coach, and the Cowboys. Now the Giants are actually trying to get somebody from the Patriots, who used to coach in the NFL a few years ago, but then realized he sucked. Oh God, what was his damn name? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can see his face. This is what happens when you can't think too well. Plus, it's been a very long day. I know Mike McCarthy, he's been discussed, and our Ravens offensive coordinator Greg Roman has been discussed as well for a lot. So we're going to not really know who's going where or what coaches or offensive coordinators or coaches from college will be coming up, but would definitely be interesting to see and watch. With that being said, now it's time for the best and worst of the year, awards for the best and worst of football. And the first one we're going to start with is the MVP. Now, of course, if you don't know what MVP means, it pretty much means who is the best player, most valuable player, who is the best player around this year. For me personally, I have to go with in the AFC and overall probably the best one, Lamar Jackson. You can't deny him that. Yeah. In the NFC, I would say Drew Brees, but unfortunately Drew Brees is going to be second because I have Lamar Jackson as 1, Drew Brees as 2. Third would probably be Jimmy Garoppolo. and that would be my top 3.
I chose Russell Wilson as my MVP for the NFC.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. I'll freaking host it from here on in. The least valuable player.
Well, who is your MVP for the AFC?
Lamar Jackson too.
And was he the overall MVP for you as well?
He would be the overall.
Okay.
Russell Wilson's my second.
Least valuable player. Okay, I'll let you host these because you have all the awards written down.
My least valuable player in the AFC, in my opinion, is Baker Mayfield. Honestly, it's not because of his terrible stat line, but he just didn't seem like a leader in the team that kind of needed one. I mean, he talked shit all year long.
Appeared in commercials all year long.
And yeah, he couldn't back it up with even a decent season. I mean, he didn't give any team his confidence.
I can understand picking him, but I will ask this question. Was it because of him or was it because who the head coach was?
I would say more of him.
Okay.
But
I only say that because if he does great this next season, then you could say, okay, it was the head coach more than him. But I'm only playing devil's advocate here on that one.
So who is the least valued player in the AFC?
As much as I love in the AFC and getting second place overall, I gotta go with Phillip Rivers. He cost the Chargers so many games this year in the fourth quarter. And I love Phillip Rivers. Yeah. I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback who'll go in easily, but he threw so many fourth quarter interceptions or just failed in the fourth quarter. But there was one person worse than him. My buddy.
That's in the NFC?
That's in the NFC. But my buddy Dave says Urban Meyers for Dallas maybe or Browns. I don't think he would. I mean, I know he's floated with coming out of retirement, but I'll discuss Dallas and Browns coaching next video because right now it's the best and worst awards. There's too many coaches you could pick. But for the NFC, least valuable player and worst player overall, there's only one person who should win it. I know everyone's going to say, oh, Doug's not going to pick Dak Prescott. It's not Dak. There was one quarterback who set a record in that Tampa Bay Atlanta game for 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Jameis Winston.
See, I know where you're going with it, but...
Well, here's the thing. All those interceptions, if he would have had half of them, you could make the argument Tampa Bay would have been one of the wild card teams.
Well, now let me make the counter argument. I mean, if he never had that performance to begin with, Tampa Bay would be like 4-12.
That is true, but when you're going to be known in the history books for probably breaking Brett Favre's interception record, and everyone's forgotten how bad Eli is at interceptions because of you deserve to be winning the least valuable player. Now, here's the thing. If we were just counting the touchdowns and passing yards, because guess what? He did lead the league in passing yards this year. He was the leading passer, but guess what? Those 30 interceptions cost. Because here's the thing, they could have, if they would have not had those many interceptions, and yes, I know not all of it was his fault. I will admit that. Some of them were the receiver's faults for tipping it, or juggling it. I understand that, but still, 30 interceptions. That's hurting your team. I can't think of anyone who was worse than that in the AFC and the NFC and overall.
See, my player that I chose, I mean, he honestly didn't do shit for this team. He didn't help them whatsoever. I could say it's a coaching situation, but my least valuable player overall is definitely Mitchell Trubisky.
Chicago Bears.
I don't like him personally. He's probably one of the bigger busts of the draft.
See, I understand where you're going with him on that because he did have a bad year, but this was his third year? And at least his second year in the new system. So I can forgive that a bit, but Jameis Winston's been in the league in how long? And all he's known for is interceptions?
I mean, the only reason they got 8 wins, in my opinion, was because of their defense.
The Bears, obviously, the Bears' defense. And
I mean, if they wanted literally any quarterback, you can argue that Ryan Fitzpatrick would have got them to 11 wins. I would say that.
That's either near or there, but that one I had to. That one I can't agree with you on. I mean, I get where you're going with it because he did play bad, but
I think it's just different based on these valuable players.
I just have to go with at least with the Bears defense. You know, they could at least save him. Plus, he's like still a young quarterback. He's not been in the league as long as Jameis Winston.
Actually, I think that Joe Trubisky got drafted like 2 years later.
I might be wrong.
He's not that much old.
Somebody's going to put in the comments, I guarantee it. Oh, Jameis Winston was drafted this, and Travinsky was drafted blah.
So let me continue. Best team of the year.
Best team?
I mean, so can we just say it's the Ravens and 49ers?
Well, I actually have a different team in the NFC.
Okay, so you're going to say it's the Saints?
Yeah, the Saints to me. I know everyone's like, oh, the Niners are the 1 seed. Yeah, I'll give them that. They were the 1 seed. But to me, if I'm basing it on the whole package, I trust Drew Brees and the Saints more than I do Jimmy Garoppolo. And that's no disrespect to Jimmy Garoppolo. He did show up this year. I'm not denying that. But I truly believe the Saints are the best team in the NFC. It's hard to win there at home. When you go into their home. Plus, I'm sorry, if I have to put my money on a quarterback in the NFC to win me a playoff game, to get me to the Super Bowl, I am choosing Drew Brees over everybody else. Dave says the Bears quarterback was drafted in 2007.
2017. Yeah, that makes more sense.
So he's still young, but overall, it's the Ravens in the AFC and the overall in the NFL. Ravens are the number 1 team. I would probably put the Niners at 3rd. I mean, you could flip-flop the Saints and Niners if you want, but I'll have Saints at 2nd, Niners.
All right, now it's time for everyone's favorite part.
The least.
The worst
team.
The worst team.
Can I start this one because I'm actually going to have to make it a fence here for somebody. The worst team in the AFC. I am not picking, believe it or not, I am not picking the Bengals.
Are you going to pick the Dolphins?
I'm actually... yeah, I'm picking the Dolphins, and here's why. The Bengals we knew were going to be bad. I think everyone guaranteed that the Bengals were going to be bad. Dave, I can't... Okay, wait a minute. The Pats... Dave, come on. The Pats are not a bad team. They're in the playoff. No. Maybe most disappointing team I could give you, but anyway. Dolphins is the thing. Before the preseason started, what did we hear from the Dolphins? We were going to tank. We didn't want to have a winning season. They found ways to untank and actually win games when they were supposed to lose. I'm sorry, the whole organization of Dolphins were pretty much saying, we want the number 1 pick in the draft. We don't want to win games. And what did you do? You end up winning games. So they would be the worst team in the AFC. I would probably even say after that would be Cleveland. Because Cleveland had all this talent and unfortunately goofed it up. And then I'd probably say the Bengals in 3rd in the AFC. NFC.
So yeah, the Bengals.
NFC and the NFC actually has my overall one as well. And this was a tough one because Dallas was terrible because of the fact of, again, they're like the Browns. All this talent and all you could do was go 8-8. Yes, I know some of the coaches should take blame for that, but same with the players. But it was the heart. Rams, a team that was a Super Bowl team last year, didn't really look like one this year. And then, of course, the 3rd worst team, Atlanta. Again, great quarterback, decent head coach, but ever since that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots, they haven't looked anything. But my worst team in the NFC and overall my worst team, I got to go with the Rams. Yes, I know, and Dallas would be 2nd, but here's the thing. Rams were coming off a Super Bowl loss. They should have they still had most of their pieces, so they should have been going right back to the playoffs, but unfortunately they just looked not the team who was from the playoffs last year. I will say this, the reason I didn't pick the Giants was because of injuries, so I can't really see if they were going to be good or bad because of all the injuries and suspension to start off the season.
Alright, now let's move on to the most surprising team.
Well, who is your worst teams?
The Bengals and the Redskins.
Okay, Bengals I can understand. I mean, you know why I couldn't really pick them, and Redskins, I would have put them in.
I'm bored with those because just for the fact I had more rewards.
Yeah, and I mean, I could have gave it to the Skins, but I knew after they fired their head coach, I was kind of like, yeah, they don't really care. All right, what's the next award?
Most surprising team.
AFC and probably my overall number one surprising team in the NFL, Buffalo Bills. No one had them making the playoffs before the season started. I was high on that defense, and I was. I pretty much preached the defense for the Bills all year long, if I'm correct.
More fucking off of them.
Yeah, you were the opposite. You hated that I was cheering the Bills defense every week. Must be because I had the Bills.
The fourth team in the league.
Must be because I had the Bills on fantasy football, but they would probably be my AFC and overall best shocking team of this year, most surprising. In the NFC, I got to go with the Eagles, just because of the fact that they somehow made the playoffs with all these injuries. I have to tip my hat to that. There's nobody else in the NFC I can say that was surprising.
Alright, so my most surprising team in the AFC, I have to go with Tennessee. After looking dead by like week 7 when they had played the Chargers, because when they put in Ryan Tannehill, they somehow gained life, and they found the quarterback over Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, if you really think about it, the Titans went 7-3 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, they ended up going 9-7 and still in the 6th seed, and I can respect that one, because that would also that could be the only other team you could say in the AFC that was surprising. It was surprisingly good anyway.
See, I mean, this might sound generic, but I'm picking the 49ers just because. I mean, we never really thought a 4-12 team to go 3-13, just out of thin air.
I can give you that one. I mean, based on how they did last year.
All right, next, the most disappointing team.
Oh God, do you want to start this one, or should I?
I have the Chargers and the Rams, both LA teams.
All right, in the AFC, I so wanted to give it to the Indianapolis Colts so bad, but they actually somehow pulled it together to at least look competent. So my worst team in the AFC, Dave beat me to the punch. Worst AFC team, Oakland Raiders. However, the worst team in the NFC and overall the NFL, as much as it pains me to say this, Dallas Cowboys. Because...
So, that's your most disappointing?
Most disappointing, because you have all this talent. You had the easiest way to get to the playoffs. All you had to do was beat the Eagles in Week 16 and you're in. And you couldn't do anything. What do you do in Week 17? Kill the freaking Washington Redskins. And again, that meant nothing. So, sorry, as much as it pains me to say this as a Cowboy fan, they were the most disappointing team in the NFC. I would say the only other one I could say in the NFC would probably be Atlanta, because I was hating on them a lot this year, because between all the good receivers and Matty Ice, and it amazes me that the Falcons, and for that matter the Lions head coach, didn't get fired.
Alright, so we're going to the next award?
Yep.
Alright, now time for the Choke Artist of the Year award.
Oh, God. Who's yours?
In the AFC, I have the Colts.
AFC, okay.
They looked so good in, like, the first 7 games. Ever since the Jacoby Brissett injury, they turned to shit in, like, 3 weeks. Like, as soon as they lost to the Saints, I knew it was over. And in the NFC, this is a shout out to Doug. The Cowboys. It's like, how do you go start 5-3 with the rest of the division being shit and only win 3 games?
I can understand that. What was the name of this award again?
Choke
Artist
of the Year.
For me, AFC, I got to go with the Raiders, because you have a great head coach, you have enough talent, but for some reason you choked, and you had a chance to still make the playoffs, but you choked. Well, actually, no, wait. I'm going to change my pick, because you know what? I just thought of something that was even worse than Oakland's choking. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Week 17, won it for the Steelers for Choke Artist. For one reason. All the Steelers had to do in Week 16 was beat the Jets, and you were probably going to get into the playoffs. But who did the Steelers lose to? Who?
My upset picks of the week.
The Jets. Now here's the funny thing, and this goes to Stephen A. Smith. You made fun of the Cowboys for losing to the Jets, but you didn't touch your Steelers for losing to the Jets. So Stephen A. Smith, you win a special award that's just made for you. The Punk Ass Bitch Hypocrite Award. Congratulations to Stephen A. Smith. Now as far as for the NFC, choke artist, to me, I have to go with Tampa Bay because you won so many games you could have won, but because your quarterback says, I'm gonna throw the ball, and I don't give a damn who catches it.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. And Jameis Winston, I'll give you this. You're in the record book. No one's ever going to be able to break that 30 for 30 record. I'm sure we're going to see an ESPN 30 for 30 film about it. But I'm sorry. You had a chance to at least go 9-7. At least say, hey, we're going to end on a winning season. And what makes it even worse?
The last play of the season for him.
The last play of the season, he threw an interception and Atlanta got a touchdown. A defensive touchdown.
A pick six. That was the perfect way to end the season.
Perfect way to end the season for the choke artist. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are your choke artists for the NFC and overall the NFL.
I want to go back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I kind of regret. You want to know something funny?
What?
The last 3 games of the year for the Pittsburgh Steelers were all of our upset picks of the week. You picked Buffalo to beat them. Then I picked the Jets and Ravens as my upset picks. That's kind of funny to me. Granted, I thought Pittsburgh were actually against Buffalo, but their offense is actually shit. And you want to know something funnier?
What?
They only scored 10 points in each of the 3 games.
Oh, that's funny.
10 points against the Bills, 10 points against the Jets, 10 points against the second straight Ravens.
All right, and my buddy's going to be here in 5 minutes, so let's continue. How many awards are left?
Let's see. 7. So we'll just knock them out real quick.
All right.
Injury Bowl winner. For the NFC, I got Steelers and Eagles.
I got Eagles and Steelers as well.
Let's see. The best coach.
John Harbaugh for the Ravens, and AFC. NFC, I have to go with the Eagles head coach. He somehow got a bunch of ragtag circus people together to make the playoffs.
Well, Doug, you're not going to believe this. I have Sean McDermott as my best coach in the AFC, and my best coach in the NFC is Kyle Shanahan.
Damn. Dave will be happy about that.
My worst coach.
Can I go ahead and give mine out? Worst coach in the AFC and overall the worst coach of the NFL, Gruden. Worst coach in the NFC, Gruden, because you got fired. At least I can say with Jason Garrett, he got fired after the season. If you got fired mid-season, you're terrible. Ron Rivera was not bad. That was a different issue why he got fired.
Okay, so my worst coach, I do agree with you in the NFC. My worst coach in the AFC was definitely Freddie Kitchens.
I can respect that.
I mean, he didn't do anything to help out his quarterback.
Nope.
So, I mean, it's just Browns shitposting today.
Yep.
Okay, we're in the final stretch. Offensive Player of the Year.
Lamar Jackson, overall, NFC. I'm going to be nice and give it to Jimmy Garoppolo. Because he actually proved me wrong this year, so I'll give it to Jimmy.
My Offensive Player of the Year is Derrick Henry and Michael Thomas. I try to change up the awards.
All right.
So it's just Lamar Jackson winning 20.
Fair enough.
Defensive Player of the Year.
The entire Ravens defense. And then second place, the entire 49ers defense.
You didn't plan ahead for this show, did you?
No, I did, but I couldn't really decide on who was the best defensive player. That's why I just put them all in the same boat.
I put TJ Watt and Shaquille Barrett.
I can respect that, but I did a cop-out move, I know. Moving on.
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Ugh, I couldn't think of any.
Josh Jacobs for the AFC and Kyler Murray for the NFC.
I'm just going to agree with you then. They get my vote. Fuck it.
Right, defensive rookie of the year.
The guy from San Francisco.
Jesus.
I don't know his name, but I know he was a rookie this year.
And the guy from Pittsburgh.
And the guy from Pittsburgh, pretty much.
Devin Bush and Nick Bosa. Okay, now.
You know who I meant, though, because I didn't. You knew who I was meaning by those two teams.
All right. Now your wild card picks.
Wild card picks. Well, I actually have one more award to give out. Actually, team with the brightest future next year. Now, with that being said, this has to be a team who almost made the playoffs but missed it. So they can't be a team that was eliminated early.
Go with that.
AFC. I'm actually going to say Pittsburgh. I think, once they get everybody healed up, there'll be a threat again. NFC, I'm actually going to shock everyone. As much as I've made fun of Tampa Bay tonight, I think Tampa Bay has the best outlook going into next year.
All right, so my best for the AFC, I would have to say Denver.
Okay, Denver's not a bad one. They did end on a high note.
My best for the NFC. It's kind of tough, but I think there's really. I think this team won't be good in 2 years next year, but I'm going to say the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Kyler Murray looks pretty decent. I think if they really work this offseason, I think they'll be a formidable opponent in 2 years.
All right.
Okay, now last award for sure.
I thought that. Yeah, that was. We're doing one more.
Team with the worst outlook.
Cleveland. That's all I needed. Cleveland. Nobody else. Maybe Detroit Lions in second, but Cleveland overall.
Now thinking about it, I have to. I think the team in the worst situation possible. There's actually no team in the AFC, so I'm just going to go right to the NFC team. I'm going to pick 2 NFC teams. Fuck it.
Okay.
The Panthers.
Yeah, because they're going to be built mode.
They're going to blow it all up. They're going to start tanking.
Yeah, they will.
If they don't, then I'll be shocked. And the other team that has the worst outlook, the team that gave up 2 first-round picks. It has to be the Rams.
Man, fair enough.
Look at their situation right now.
Oh, I admit it's bad.
They're locked into a QB that's skeptical at best. Running back with arthritis, and they have to pay Jalen Ramsey
a buttload of money
after giving up 2 first-round
picks. Yeah,
I mean, gotta pay him.
That is true.
That'd be the biggest waste of picks ever.
Oh, I agree there. So those are the awards, guys. If you missed any of them or turned in late, just go back to the beginning. All right, for the games, Saturday tomorrow at 4:30. At 4:35, it is the Bills on the road against the Texans, and this is actually a rematch from a long time ago, back in 1995, back when Houston was known as the Houston Oilers. Oilers were leading that game at halftime. Most of the Bills fans left. Bills make this comeback, and somehow the stadium is filled with over 50,000 people. I'm taking Buffalo here. I know J.J. Watt's back this week.
Jeez.
But it's his first game back since getting injured. I don't trust that.
We talked about this.
And if I'm going to base it on, I think the Bills' defense is better than Houston's defense at this point. Yes, Houston's got the better quarterback, but I have to go with defense because defense wins you championships, and I'm taking the Bills on the road.
See, here's my argument with that kind of stuff. You need a defense to win. Yes. But if your offense is flat as Buffalo's all year long, that's going to be their downfall when they actually have to play playoff teams.
Oh,
you saw it against.
I can understand that, but I can't trust Houston's defense because they're just getting J.J. Watt back his first game. We just saw what happened with the Beast
What do you think?
of Seattle.
Scores 30.
I think it's going to be close. I think a lot of people are saying it's going to be a blow, but I think it's going to be close. Buffalo wins by 3 points.
I think Houston wins by 10.
Okay, so you got Houston. Moving on to the other wild card game, probably the hardest game to pick at 6:15. Titans on the road against the Patriots. I had a hard time picking this one because I don't. Patriots have been looking down a lot, but I don't trust the Titans well enough. I mean, it is in New England. I don't trust the Titans.
Just take the Patriots. The Patriots are going to turn off playoff mode and they're going to go on Super Bowl run.
I do have the Patriots because I can't trust Tennessee. I do give credit to Tennessee, but I can't trust them. If they do win, the Titans beat the Patriots, the Tom Brady era is over. Done. And then the two Sunday games. At 1:05, it is the Vikings on the road against the Saints. New Orleans has won 13 games but lost a tiebreaker for the first round bye. They will be extremely difficult matchup for Minnesota. And hey, this is the rematch from a few years ago. But I'm taking the Saints. Saints just a better defense, better quarterback. When Drew Brees is way better than Kirk Cousins. And I'm going to say this. It is hard to win in New Orleans. Very hard. So Saints win.
No, it isn't. Drew Brees like 6 times.
So who are you taking then? Saints or Vikings?
I'll take the Saints.
Saints. And then the last game.
Vikings just looked pretty bad.
I agree there.
Last 2 games.
Last game of the wild card at 4:40 Sunday, and I wish I could understand whose headset is masturbating. It is the Seahawks against Philly. Philly coming in, winning the division, but Philly's got so many injuries it's not even funny. Seattle's coming in after losing to San Francisco, but they do got Marshawn Lynch back. Russell Wilson has been playing great most of the season. I'm taking Seahawks on the road here. Yes, I'm going to tip my hat to Philly. What they did is great, winning the division, making the playoffs with all these banged up players. But eventually, it's going to cost you in the end. I think Seattle's just a better team. They don't have as many injuries. Seattle wins on the road.
Here's my thing with that pick. The Seahawks looked... I think Seahawks were my low-key choke artists of the year. Losing your last 3 out of 4 games, which include the Rams, the 49ers, and the Cardinals. Still, Seahawks went 3-3 in their division. That's shocking to me somewhat.
It is, and Seattle is looking for the first playoff win since 2016, but I just have to go with the team that's not as injury prone.
But that's actually an upset. I'm going with the Eagles, who actually beat the Seahawks.
I don't get why everyone's saying the Eagles would be the upset, because technically the Eagles are the home team. So I mean, unless Seattle's favored,
hey, they're 1 point. The Seahawks are 1 point favorites.
That's not really an upset in my book.
Well, fuck it, it's an upset.
Tennessee.
The NFC game.
Okay, I can understand that. So
good night.
Those are all picks. Let us know what you think in the comments. See you next time.